Abante, and the chair has not yet ruled on the motion of the Honorable
Yes.
Abante.
That is correct. Yes, I'd like to rule on the motion first of Congressman Abante to invite General Elezar and General and DOJ, no, in the next scheduled committee hearing of the Quad Committee, and Secretary. The former DOJ Secretary, Secretary Solgen Minard Guevara. So, any second? Duly seconded. Any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, continue. Please continue.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Attorney Conti.
Sorry, Your Honor, but at this point, point of information regarding the 52 cases that were mentioned. Your Honor, this has already been discussed prior. If I recall from the hearing June 5th, 2024, the DOJ presented the list of 52 cases and said that they had already forwarded the cases with recommendation for filing of charges or case building to the NBI. If you would recall po, si Judge Santiago po yung nagsabi na they investigated it, and in the 52 cases, 30 have been closed temporarily for lack of information.
Mr. Chair, forwarded where?
NBI, Your Honor.
NBI.
Yes,
for
Your
the
Honor.
filing of cases.
But, yes, Your Honor, and just an
For the
additional...
filing. For the filing
For
pa.
filing. So yung 30 po, kumbaga, wala nang na-file. But I agree, the 52 cases are what the DOJ and this government or the previous government said constitutes an investigation. Pumunta sila ng UN, pumunta sila ng ICC, nag-investigate naman kami, 52 cases. None of these cases, or 2 cases were in Caloocan. No cases were mentioned in Bulacan. Kaya hindi po representative yung 52 cases investigated. And just a note, NBI said that they had 400 cases being investigated. So, kumbaga, puro po numbers, pero wala naman po
So you were saying,
pinatutunguhan.
Mr. Chair, you were saying that the NBI was actually remiss in investigating the 52 cases.
Well, yes, Your Honor. Meaning, kumbaga, yung DOJ investigation na ipasa na daw sa NBI for prosecution, yung NBI naman sinasabi, wala na daw na impormasyon. Actually, ang binabato naman, yung biktima daw kasi hindi nagpa-file ng kaso. Ako, wala po akong kaso dun sa 52 na ini-investigate nila eh. Talagang kulang na kulang po yung pinagsimulan ng information.
NBI, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Director Levin, any...
Thank you, Your Honors, Mr. Chair. We, with the indulgence, we take exception to the statement na remiss kami. I have to defend my institution. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Of the 52 cases referred to the NBI, 13 were recommended to be prosecuted. 7 are still under investigation, and 32 of these cases were provisionally closed either for lack of cooperation on the part of the relatives of the victims. Let us remember, Your Honors, Mr. Chair, that we have been denied the opportunity to conduct forensic investigation on the pieces of evidence. Walang crime scene investigation dito. When these were all referred to us, the crime had already happened long time ago. It's very difficult now to reconstruct the scene of the crime. The ideal procedure should have been when a violent incident occurred or happened, dapat nag-conduct kaagad ang SOCO ng crime scene investigation.
Pero, Director,
Yes, sir.
how were you able to file a case dun sa 13 ba yung na-file nyo? So, if there are no SOCO reports or immediate investigation after the crime happened, so how were you able to file those cases?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ito yung may mga witnesses kaming nakuha at ito yung nagpursue yung relatives ng victims.
So, merong cases where the relatives were pursuing a case And meron naman dun sa out of 52 na hindi na nagko-cooperate, hindi na nagpapakita, and does not show any interest to file a case.
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. Now, ideally, kung nagkaroon ng violent incident, dapat nagkandak kaagad ng SOCO doon sa crime scene ng kanilang investigation. And to further answer yung gaps kanina kung saan napupunta yung mga baril used by law enforcement officers in the various operations involved in violent incidents, this should have been asked to be surrendered when there was a crime scene investigation wherein pieces of evidence were collected or gathered at the scene of the crime. For example, kung nakakuha ng slugs, kung nakakuha ng empty shells during the conduct of the crime scene investigation, dapat tinanong yung involved na police officers or NBI officers for that matter to surrender your firearms. I remember when we investigated the incident in Commonwealth Avenue involving PDEA and Quezon City Police, I was on top of this investigation. We requested all of those involved to surrender your firearms to the NBI. This is so that the pieces of evidence collected or gathered by the NBI at that time at the scene of the crime, yung slugs, yung empty shells, will have to be cross-matched with the firearms used. At kailangan isurrender nila sa evidence custodian ng NBI to avoid tampering of their firearms when we use this. Only when we shall have terminated or finish the investigation and our forensic experts shall have testified on the results of their investigation, may the pieces of evidence na firearms ng NBI or ng police ay maaring ibalik on with leave of court, of course. Thank you, Your Honor, Mr.
Mr. Chair,
Okay, thank you, Director Levin. Yes, Congressman Abante.
I surmise, therefore, Mr. Chair, that masyadong magulo itong nangyayaring ito nung panahon ng former administration. Di para bang ang ating kapulisan ay hindi nag-iimbestiga. So I surmise, Mr. Chair, that the police actually were not properly investigating because of the policy of the administration, because of the policy of the former president. Na kung yan, nanlaban ng kaunti yan, patayin nyo na at I have your back. Ako ang magpoprotekta sa inyo. And I would even think, I do not know, Major General, you could be able to tell me if I'm right or wrong, no? Okay lang sa akin. Pero palagay ko, there really was a big irregularity as far as investigating this is concerned. Oh, just imagine, we have more than 7,000 na napatay, but only 52 are being investigated. And 37 of them, wala na because hindi na umano yung biktima. Now, the thing is this, I don't think that it is the NBI that should be first in the scene. It must be the policeman that should be in the scene of the crime. Am I right, Major General?
You are correct, Your Honor. It's supposed to be the PNP, especially the SOCO, that will process the crime scene, especially in the event of armed confrontation, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, why do you always have to give that to IAS? Why don't the SOCO be the one to investigate on it, motu proprio?
It is within their mandate, Your Honor. The IAS has the motto proprio.
No. It's not the mandate of the IAS is to investigate an administrative case. Of course, kasama yung criminal dun eh. Pero still, the IAS should be independent from the Philippine National Police. Therefore, the Philippine National Police must also conduct their own investigation on the matter. Am I right, Major General?
That's correct, Your Honor. As I have mentioned, it is being part of the SOCO operations. And as I have mentioned, once an irregularity has been found based on the processing,